of the most powerful tools in the Fractal Audio VP4's free software editor is the blocks library function. It lets you save your favorite custom settings and recall them in any preset at any time. I want to show you how you can save your favorite settings using the blocks library, and then I want to demonstrate some of my custom blocks. My blocks library is linked in the video description, but for now, I'll give you a very quick example of why this is so effective. At the moment, I've got quite a dry rock crunch going into the VP4. And I want to just add a little bit of ambience to that. So let's drag a reverb block onto the chain. You can see the default type is this large hall on here. I generally like plate reverbs on distorted guitar, so let's go to the type, we'll select the gold plate, and we'll hear it at the stock settings to get going. So there's a little bit too much decay on there. I generally go for the time around 1.5 seconds, and I like a little less mix. I like this to be quite subtle. Furthermore, I like a bit of a low cut on all my reverbs. Let's go to 250 Hertz over there and have a listen to this. This is the sort of effect where you really only notice it when it's off. You kind of feel like you miss it when it's off. I'm pretty stoked with that, but I don't want to have to go through that process every time I drop a reverb onto the grid. So what I can do is go to the library, I can hit this little icon here, and I can save this. I could give it a name like favorite or fave. Very straightforward. You can do this with any effect type. If I was in a different preset, like let's say I went to this LT effects post factory preset and I wanted to drop those settings onto the reverb block, I just select my block, I go to the library, I'm going to select fave, and like magic, I've got those settings on there. You could go through all the factory presets, and any effect block that you really like the sound of, you could essentially farm for the sounds in there. Just go in, save it to the blocks library, give it a name that you're going to remember, and then when you're creating your own custom presets, you can recall those at any time. I've gone through and created a bunch of custom blocks that I use all the time. So let's create a preset from scratch using them. I'm going to place a reverb at the end of the chain, and again, I'm going to select that fave setting that we created over here. Before that, I wouldn't mind a kind of stereo widening style effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pitch block over here, and I'm going to go to the library function. I'm going to select LT detune. This is going to give me 9 cents of micro pitch shift on either side, and it makes everything sound pretty big. Let's lean into this greasy vibe and drop a multi-tap delay onto the grid over here. I'm going to come into the library and select the LT lead setting over here. This one sounds massive. A bunch of you have asked about the Yamaha SPX90 symphonic style settings that I used in the VP4 launch video. I'll show you how to recreate those. We're going to start with a pair of multi-tap delay blocks on the grid, but we are going to go to mix and routing. We're going to route them in parallel. Once we've done that, on the first block, we're going to go to my blocks library and select SPX Symphonic A. Then we will select SPX Symphonic B for the lower block on there. I'll turn the pitch detune off on here. This just gives you that iconic, massive stereo chorus sound that the late 80s and early 90s was so well known for. One of my favorite things about the VP4 is you can actually run 4 multi-tap delay blocks in a single preset. So let's replace this pitch block here with yet another multi-tap delay, and we'll bring up something a little bit different over here. Let's go for, say, the PCM70 Quattro delay settings on here. I'm actually going to play you all out with this example. Hopefully, this gives you a great idea of how you can go through and save your favorite block settings, how you could go through existing presets and mine them for great sounding blocks that you can bring into your own presets. And then if you're interested in grabbing my VP4 blocks library, it's linked in the video description. If you go and download the files, there are instructions on how to load them very quickly. You just go to settings, you go to preferences, workspace, and in library, you go to browse and then select the unzipped folder that you download. Till next time though, I'm going to give you some glorious symphonic style chorus, a beautiful PCM inspired delay, and you know what, with the reverb, let's bring up something slightly different from the blocks library. Let's go for the PCM rich plate. We'll fully lean into the rack vibe here. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.